This time, what's been taken is Bryan Mills' reputation. You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of Taken 3.
Lenny! Lenny?
Sir, back away now!
I didn't do this.
Put your hands up, now!
Wanted for murder. Suspect's name, Bryan Mills.
Yes, they took his daughter and then they took his wife. Who's left? Well, because this isn't a comedy, that leaves out his dog or his mailman, so all that is left is his good name. So, for the third entry in the Taken franchise, Bryan Mills finds himself framed for his wife's murder, which sends him on the run as he tries to evade the police. Not too hard with Forest Whitaker's lazy eye? And he also has to find out the identity of the real murderer. Maybe it was the one-armed man? That's right, Richard Kimball called and he wants his storyline back. It would seem that Mills is guilty of one crime, identity theft. But speaking of identity, the Taken franchise is certainly being quite clever in forging its own. For instance, since Liam Neeson's Bryan Mills is known for having a special set of skills, part of the ad campaign for Taken 3 included the chance to win an endorsement from Mills on the business networking website LinkedIn for your special set of skills. And you can bet that the Taken movies are featured prominently on Neeson's resume, as the franchise not only revived his career back in 2009, but continues to produce his biggest box office hits. Like the first Taken, this third entry also hits theaters in January, where there's little to no box office competition, plus the director of the second entry, Olivier Megaton, returns, as does Maggie Grace. Oscar winner Whitaker joins the cast, and so does Dougray Scott, probably as part of that Albanian mob which has been plaguing Mills ever since he was a total killjoy about his daughter joining their sex slave operation. Man, life has got to be tough for Scott ever since he had to pass on the role of Wolverine because of a scheduling conflict between the first X-Men movie and Mission Impossible 2. But at least he's still working? Does the Taken franchise still work? Or are the days of $25 to $45 million budgets with 200 and almost 400 million returns over?
So I really enjoyed the first Taken, and I found the second Taken to be surprisingly watchable. But this third Taken? Let's just say there were a lot of people on their cell phones during this movie, which made for a viewing experience that was both boring and frustrating. One of the biggest problems with the movie is that for some inexplicable reason, they've decided to remove most of the action from the film. And nobody goes to see a Taken movie for the dialogue or the acting, which becomes even more obvious when you remove all the action from the film. And of what little action there is, the fight sequences, for instance, are annoyingly shot in extreme close-ups with lots of cuts. And we all know at this point that means it's because they have to cheat their fight choreography. Which makes no sense to me, because Liam Neeson has done a very good job in recent films with his fight choreography, so why does it need to be cheated here? Then also, his character, Bryan Mills, is so indestructible at this point, it robs the film of a lot of its tension. There's one point in the movie where his car goes sailing off the edge of a cliff, it tumbles dramatically down the side of that cliff, and then explodes at the bottom. And they really take their time with it, and again, it's all very dramatic. But you're super bored watching it because you're like, I know it seems impossible, but I know he's alive, because he's the star of this movie, and he always survives. And that's another thing. The script saves him and has him, get out of these scenarios in a cartoonish, like Roadrunner type manner. Like these people after him are Wile E. Coyote. And instead of, it doesn't earn the saves. It's like really clever MacGyver-y ways for him to get out of it, which was one of the great things about the first two films. Again, it's really just become kind of cartoonish. And then even worse, perhaps the most egregious thing, is that his coolest moves have pretty much all been shown in the trailer. So you've already seen them. There are two cool things in the film, though, that are saved, one involving a dead body, and the other where Liam Neeson plays rock, paper, scissors with a Porsche and a private jet. But they're really not enough for me to recommend that you pay to see this and take the time to see this in a theater. I mean, I strongly believe this is like a pure rental, if that. And I know a lot of you won't believe me because the other Taken films were good, and Liam Neeson is usually pretty reliable. But again, this is, I think, one of his misses. I mean, we all know that when Liam Neeson does miss, he misses hard. He goes really wide. Is there anything that I can recommend about the film? Well, I really did actually like Forest Whitaker's performance quite a bit. I think he did what he could to elevate the material, as you would expect from an Oscar winner. Although even he had this weird thing where his character had he had like one quirk too many. He fidgeted with a rubber band all the time, but then he also carried around a chess piece. So it's almost as if Forest Whitaker was bored making the movie and trying to keep himself entertained. Or he's like, they won't let me change the script, so I'm going to add as many physical gags as I can. But again, I liked his performance. I liked his bemusement at Liam Neeson's ability to escape all the traps they set for him, etc. But I think the movie would have benefited from creating kind of a Die Hard style repartee and partnership, perhaps, between Neeson and Whitaker, as of course they have in the movie Die Hard, which was one of the greatest things about that movie. But no, instead, Forest Whitaker's character is stuck always a few steps behind Bryan Mills' character, even though Bryan Mills is even like, this is one smart police officer, but apparently not that smart. So that's my review of Taken 3. I wish I had better news to deliver, but I know that one of you actually tweeted me the other day and said, oh, I really enjoyed Taken. I left the theater with a smile on my face, so I'd be very curious to see or to hear in the comments down below what you did enjoy about the film, if you also left with a smile on your face. All right, so that's my review of Taken 3, one of the lesser Luc Besson movies, kind of like one of the second or third transporters, I guess you could say. But again, I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below. Thank you for tuning in, and you can check out some more episodes right now.